Things have gotten real bad. I'm out of breath already. It's bad. Oh, yeah, reliability, huh?
Merely hours after laying eyes on these cars for the first time, we were hitting the road back to Georgia with over 1,500 miles to go in the dead of winter. The Coupe hadn't seen the road in nearly a decade, and the wagon had spent the last 24 years languishing away in a Colorado junkyard. We had no idea what problems might present themselves as we hit the road. Nevertheless, we headed out into the great unknown to find out what adventures might meet us along the way. Sure, things were going to go wrong, but we were ready, or so we thought. So follow along as we try to drag two broken down AMCs all the way from Colorado back to Georgia. It's a good time.
First stop to check on the car, make sure everything's doing all right. And first fuel stop. Used about 5.5 gallons, no idea how far I went. And look, we even have temporary registration and insurance. We're doing things right. Didn't even burn any oil. Thing is good to go. So, fun fact about the 1970 AMC Hornet is that the wiper blades are vacuum operated. So when you're on the throttle, they don't do anything. When you let off the throttle, they start working again. Granted, the wiper blades on this car are obviously terrible, so I can't see no matter what. It's great. I'm basically driving blind. Safety third, guys. So what happened to your truck?
Well, I was driving along about 55 and I hit the windshield wiper switch and they went up, and then the windshield wiper the blade just flew off.
And meanwhile, I have blades that are probably from 1970 on my car, so I couldn't see a thing. It was great. And they're vacuum operated, so you have to let completely off the gas for the windshield wipers to actually do anything. So we're at Walmart. We're gonna get some wiper blades. I couldn't remember exactly what size the wiper blades were. Funny enough, the little book actually lists American Motors, and you know, it's not the right year Hornet, but it's still the same. 16-inch. How crazy is that? So I got my wiper blades and some Rain-X water repellent, and he's got one wiper blade because he only lost one. Here we go. Things have gotten real bad. The car starter just crapped out, so I'm gonna have to push this thing, jump in it, and try to kickstart the engine with it in gear. Let's see how this works. Let me push it forward first. That's all she wrote going forward. I'm gonna get my dad to come over. Give me a push backwards. I'm out of breath already. It's bad. Oh, yeah, reliability, huh? So now my dad's gonna push. So I'm gonna let off the brake. We're gonna start coasting backwards. All right, let go. There we go. Whew. Hopefully we don't have to do that every time from now on now. Oh, this is getting interesting. Oh, I'm gonna leave this guy running while I change the wiper blades and Rain-X the window. So that way I don't have to push start it again because I don't feel like doing that. Or I'll accidentally let my foot slip off the clutch and kill it where it sits. So we're gonna have to push start it again. So I'm an idiot, and after we jump started the car once, you know, pushing it and popping the clutch, I accidentally let my foot slip off the clutch when I went to park it and stalled it. So now I'm gonna push start it again, but I can't use first gear because there's no synchro, so I'm gonna have to use second. 3-speed on the tree problems. Yep, utter debacle. Here's the plan. Can't get it started just pushing it, so we're gonna tow it behind the other Hornet with a strap. Oh, this is ridiculous. Yeah, let's hope this works. Got them strapped together-ish. Yeah, we're amusing people now. This has gotten bad. All right. All right. So I wanted you on the phone for it.
Yeah, we should be on the phone.
All right, we're rolling.
Are you connected yet?
Yeah.
You're rolling?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a big NASCAR loop here. You can pop it anytime you want. I'll just drag you, man. Put it in first.
I got it in second.
Whatever.
That way it doesn't try to lunge forward.
Okay. You running?
Nope, hang on. Popped out of gear.
Oh, that's swag. What's going on?
Let me go to first. If it'll let me. Slow down.
Yeah, we got slack in the car.
All right, I'm in first. Go ahead.
You running?
I don't know. I don't think so. What's going on? Well, that didn't work. All right, so we pulled the car around the parking lot with the truck and that strap attached to the other Hornet, and it still didn't start. So now we found the battery was a little low, so we're gonna swap it for the one that was in the Tundra and see if that gets the starter to kick over. All right, fresh battery in the car. So the culprit ended up being a low battery. So our charging system might be a little bit iffy. And as a result, for some reason, the coil stopped getting the voltage it should get. It should get somewhere between 9 and 10 volts with the resistor in line. But it is only getting 1 to 2 volts. So I'm going to run a jumper wire and give it a full 12 volts. But this is the wiring kit my dad brought. I don't know, 12 feet of speaker wire and a pair of snips. No strippers, no butt connectors, no terminals, no nothing. And this is how you drive 1,500 miles across the country. Wow. That's fantastic. All right, let's fix this. So we got the battery charging from the Tundra. We use the speaker wire that's jammed into the battery terminal, runs all the way around here, and then it's jammed under the nut on the coil. And in theory, this will work. But if the charging system's having some issues, you know, that's a whole nother story. What do you think?
Time to find a 24-hour Walmart.
Yeah, because this Walmart closed. Where we come from, in Georgia, our Walmarts don't close.
You failed us, Walmart.
Let's see how she does. Well, that didn't work.
Failed electrical system and a failed fuel system.
Yeah, so the battery doesn't seem to be charging, and now the fuel pump's not sending any fuel to the carburetor, so the guy that sold us this car gave us this. Might have been a clue. But we're gonna use some more janky wiring with your wiring kit and put this together. Look, it's running! It was not actually the fuel pump. So when we pulled the line off the carburetor, there was actually still fuel up there. So even though we did install that electric fuel pump, you know, it's there if we need it later. It was actually just the carburetor being stuck where it wasn't flowing fuel. So moral of the story is whenever there's a problem, just hit it with a hammer. Fixes it every time. How do you feel?
I'm glad we're going to be able to get to a hotel room tonight.
Yeah, but we should probably check the voltage, see if the alternator's charging. And if it's not, I'm going to run without my headlights on.
You're going to run without your headlights anyway. I think that's a safe call.
All right, we have an hour and a half or something left to drive to our hotel. Good stuff. On the road again. Oh, you know, I can't wait to get on the road again. So I'm running with no headlights. I'd even made the dash lights turn off to save that extra bit of juice. I'm not running the blower motor, and I can't see anything. It's pretty awesome, not gonna lie. But it's fine. Yeah, that was a debacle. On the bright side, the wipers now work now that it's not raining. This looks familiar. We're at yet another Walmart because the Walmart we were stranded outside of closed while we were stranded outside of it. And then we realized the charging system wasn't working. So now what are we getting?
We're getting a battery and some cables and clamps and kind of improvising on a charging system.
Yeah, so the idea is you have a truck that has a working charging system. You just rotate out batteries. I mean, we could buy an alternator, but where's the fun in that?
We can't buy an alternator at 1 a.m. So
That is fair.
This will get us to the hotel room, and then we'll see if we can find an alternator tomorrow. And hopefully we will. And otherwise, we'll just be swapping batteries for the rest of the trip.
It'll work.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And I need more batteries than I can count.
So what was one issue we ran into while we were fiddling with things?
We had some really awesome speaker wire to fix everything.
Yeah, it was great. This might not be the nicest electrical kit in the world, but if you keep one of these in your car, it will save you when you break down with an electrical issue. So yeah, we're buying that. So what do you have here?
This is our car battery charger.
So plugs into the cigarette outlet. Wires run to the clamps, which hook to the battery that'll be sitting in the floorboard or somewhere charging while we drive down the road.
We'll just swap it out. As the one runs down, we'll have a freshly charged one to put in its place.
Redneckery at its finest.
That's right.
It's fixed! I zip tied my photography / work light to the front grille. It's pretty redneck, but also genius. Made it to La Junta, Colorado, to tonight's accommodations, and I got to the front desk at 3:58 a.m. Apparently, they count you as a no-show at 4, so that's some good timing right there. Good morning, everybody. It is not all that early. It's about almost 10 o'clock this morning, but we got to our hotel at about 4 a.m., so slept for 4.5 hours. Now it's time to hit the road, bound for Springfield, Missouri. Day 2 on the road. Went to start the Coupe this morning, and what do you know? Dead battery. Luckily, we had a plan for that, so I'm going to go swap this while he makes his little ghetto charging system, and we'll be on the road. No big deal. How you feeling this morning?
Much better after 4 hours sleep.
Yeah, 4 hours sleep is plenty. We're good. Onward. Just like that, new battery in the car. In theory, ready to go. Gonna give this to my dad so he can use the charging system in the Tundra to charge this as we drive. Walk us through what you got.
So, last night at Walmart, bought a battery, and that was so we could get the old battery and bring it up here. Got some clamps, got some speaker wire, and got a 12-volt plug-in. And so now while we're driving, we can charge the second battery, and when the other one runs down, we've got a backup, fully charged.
Not too shabby.
All right, come on. Please treat me well. Be nice. Oh, yeah. Fired right up.
Here we go. Hitting the road. His truck's charging the battery, so we should last a long time, not running any lights or anything during the day. And we're eastbound and down. remember, the wipers don't really work when I'm on the throttle. I have to get off the throttle for them to really do anything. And my defroster's only defrosting half the window, so I'm having to look underneath all this ice that's up top. And anytime I get on the gas, the windshield wiper sticks. Oh well, it's still working, kind of. Second down the road has been much smoother. Yeah, the car isn't necessarily charging the battery like it should, but we've had no issues. Car's running cool, running smooth. Starter's starting the car still, so I think we're good. And now that I said that, we're surely gonna break down. We're on our way to Springfield, Missouri to hang out with my buddy Malachi, and he's gonna give us a place to crash. Pretty good. Not a bad day. Column shift. A lot of you guys probably don't even know what that is. 3-speed on the tree. Eastbound and down. Load it up and truck it. Humorous thing to be running on the warm side of the temperature gauge while it's 28 degrees outside. So it's running hotter than it's been all day, so we're going to stop at the next auto parts store and check the coolant level to see if it's good. Luckily, these little AMC straight sixes are darn near bulletproof, and you pretty much have to nuke them to kill them. So this thing, even though it's hot, it should run just fine. I know from experience doing that to my car. Let's see what happens. Alright, so we found a nice lighted parking lot to pull over into, and gonna take the hood off real quick and see if that makes the temperature drop. Watch out for my phone. And just like that, the hood's off, and I bet you that engine runs colder now. I think you're the fifth nut. He couldn't find the last nut. He's like, where's the fifth nut? There was only 4, so he's calling himself a nut. There we go. Hood's in the back of the truck.
It's cold out here.
Hoodless. It's quite cold.
Yeah.
I'm shaking. On the road again. Temperature's reading relatively cold. Fingers crossed this works. It's still running pretty darn hot, but it's maintaining instead of spiking like it was, so we're just gonna keep on rolling on, and if it shoots coolant out at me, I'll know I need to stop. So if that happens, we'll stop and pull the thermostat, and in theory, that'll fix it. Oh well, onward. These little AMC straight sixes are tough, so it should be fine. There we go, now it's cooling off for me. Middle of the gauge now, not too bad. That's what I was looking for. So, I was driving along, and all of a sudden, I see my dash lights go real dim. And I thought the alternator was charging the battery enough. Apparently, that's not the case. So we're gonna swap it for the battery that's been charging in the Tundra, and be on our way here in just a minute. And look, it's nice. We didn't even have to open the hood. There is always a positive side to things. Look on the bright side, people.
And a negative.
Oh, a battery joke. And a negative. Positive and negative. That's good right there. Polarity at its finest.
I think the alternator's putting out just enough amperage to power the car during the day. At night, when the lights are on, kills the battery after a little bit of time.
Yep, so we're swapping the battery, and then that'll be charging in the Tundra in a second.
Somebody made a comment about this battery charging, like, would it pull too much amperage? If it's only like at 11 volts, the difference between the voltage on the truck and the voltage on the battery is so little, it's not going to be a lot of amperage. It's going to be fine.
Well, it can only pull as many amps as a cigarette outlet can support.
Well, there is a 5 amp fuse on the cigarette lighter plug.
Yep. There we go. Just like that, we're back on the road with the old new battery installed. We're only a few minutes from Malachi's house, and we stopped at an O'Reilly's earlier to get some stuff for the wagon. Might try to get it running tonight. So we stopped at another Walmart, third Walmart of the trip. Gonna get some tranny fluid, some brake clean, and an oil filter. And in theory, that should be enough to let me get this car running with what I already have in the car. What do you think?
We may end up needing it to be running just to get home.
Yeah, the Coupe is acting up a little bit. Charging system's gone to crap, and the cooling system seems to have started to fail as well.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's like 25 degrees outside. Anyway, let's go get that stuff. I couldn't think of anything better to say. That was pitiful. Anyway, let's go. It was a bit of an oil filter debacle. They didn't have the right size, so I just kind of got one I knew would fit, even though it was too big, and then checked at a bunch of other ones until I found one that the gasket and threads matched. And in theory, it'll go on the car. We'll find out. Got my necessary supplies. Now I have 12 minutes to get to Malachi's house. So this leg of the trip, almost over. It's been a good day. This car is pretty reliable considering everything we put it through. My battery is fading severely, but I am only 3 minutes from Malachi's house, so I gotta make it 1 mile. I can push the car that distance. Look at it snowing though. This is gonna be interesting. Battery's fading, but this is Malachi's street that we're on. So I think we're good. I think we've made it. I can't see anything. My lights are so dim that I literally cannot see.
Your destination is on the right.
I'm guessing this is Malachi's house though. So that's good. We made it, even though my battery's about to die. What's up, Malachi? We're about to pull the wagon into his garage and see if we can get this thing running. Yeah, it should be interesting. Alrighty guys, so we made it to what I think is Battlefield, Missouri. And this is Malachi at Kai's Toys on Instagram. And we were in his garage. This is the 1972 AMC Hornet Sportabout that has been being drug across the country by the Tundra. I figure it's time to shine. So we're gonna see if this thing's a runner. Fingers crossed, because that would be awesome if I get to drive this the rest of the trip instead of the Coupe.